Did you hear about the robot that escaped? It's a lab twice.
Never heard of it.
I think it was in Russia or Poland or somewhere.
No, wait, what's the?
There's a robot that escaped his lab and then ran down the street or rolls down the street.
I don't believe you.
Hey, welcome to episode 46 of Front Seat Gamer. It's going to be a
Nick's
loud
back.
one.
It's a loud one. I'm
I'm
gonna have to
Nick.
adjust the levels on that.
I'm Nick. I'm here with Blake, who won't stop talking over. No, you're fine. Should I just start again? Probably.
No, it's fine.
All right.
It's great to be here.
Saveun, how's it going?
Yeah, this is very, very good, Nick.
Good.
It's good to have you back.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, we had very like.
I heard there were some marathon casts.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
Don't worry, guys. This isn't. I'm back to enforce the law of 1 hour podcasts.
We had nothing but good feedback from those super long episodes.
Really?
Yeah. Well,
Well, I guess I'm
few
not
people-
needed. See ya.
No, I mean the length. I mean about the length.
Okay.
People are like, oh yeah, I really enjoy these marathon podcasts. Really like the super long episodes.
I can't listen to anything like that anymore. I like
Yeah,
short and to the point.
yeah. It's
Um,
cool. It's cool to keep it to an hour, but every once in a while, it's cool to have a.
We should just
marathon.
do a 5-minute podcast where we just. You know what? I think I'm done. How about wrap it up, guys?
Yep, we're
Yep.
done.
Well, thanks for listening. All right, so let's talk about what we've been playing real quick.
And where you been, Nick? You want to just get us all caught up on?
We'll get to that
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll kick
Yeah,
it
go
off.
for it.
Yeah, I haven't been playing anything.
Oh,
Great. Glad we kicked it off with you,
Awesome.
Saveun.
Yeah, thank you,
Blake,
thank you. No, there was a ZBrush summit recently.
all right.
No one uses ZBrush here.
Is that where you render a mountain?
Nope, you're
Okay.
so far from it. It's like a
Is that-
sculpting application. You've seen me use it at work. a
Yeah,
couple
but I
times.
know what ZBrush is, but a
Oh.
ZBrush Summit is where you render a
Oh,
mountain.
right. No, it's like those annual conferences that companies have.
Right, on top of a mountain.
So a lot of these veterans get
it's called
together.
ZBrush Summit because it
They
takes place.
they announced some programs.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and Naughty Dog was there. Square Enix was there. You had some very hard hitters,
Oh,
like
wow.
giants of the industry, come there.
Were they showing their processes?
Yeah.
Their processes.
Yeah. Naughty Dog's messing around with photogrammetry.
Oh,
Everyone's getting on board, I guess.
This is why I was trying to convince you last NZGDC that next year you should do a photogrammetry talk.
Yeah, but I think it's going to be too late then.
You think it's going to be onto the next thing? After
Yeah,
that?
everyone will be
I don't think
doing
so.
something else.
Not in New
What's
Zealand.
the next thing?
I don't know.
Get on that.
Oh,
Find
shit.
out. You could be on the bleeding edge.
I think it'll be, you know how these phones, there are certain phones that can actually measure distance, sort of like the Kinect camera.
Okay.
I think that will probably be a part of the next capturing
I remember-
hardware.
A few years ago, after the Oculus dev kits came out,
Mm-hmm.
someone made a 3D rendering Oculus program. Basically, the idea was using your hands or something, you could 3D sculpt in like augmented reality.
Mm-hmm.
I reckon that's probably an interesting direction to go in.
There is that
AR sculpting.
Mm.
the Vive and Oculus have their own like drawing apps.
Yeah,
I
they-
forget what they're called,
They
but-
have some. It's just like 3D painting, isn't
Yeah.
it? Like that's
but it looks awesome.
yeah, it does.
Is that what you're kind of talking about?
Maybe.
Well, you're talking about you were talking about an actual like basically a pottery thing.
Well,
With
no,
their
like
sculpting
they
stuff.
would make like it looked basically like a series of spheres that would get overlaid on top of each other.
Okay,
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like if you dragged,
You're painting
uh,
with spheres.
yeah, if you dragged directly up, you would make a column that was almost like straight line, but it was actually made of a whole bunch of stacked spheres.
Mhm.
Does that make sense? Because that's just the brush shape,
Okay.
and I'm sure there are probably different brush shapes you could use.
Yeah, that sounds very similar to the geez, I wish I knew the name of it right now.
It's ZBrush thing, right? Like
No, sorry,
So-
the Oculus and the Vive
oh,
sculpting. Well, the painting programs. It's
Is-
like 3D painting. Basically.
Is this like a practical direction for the industry to go in, or does it seem like right now it seems like a keyboard and mouse, and I guess like a tablet or whatever, really gets the job done because you've got hotkeys and you've got like precision control.
Yeah.
Whereas it seems like, as cool as it is conceptually to be like sculpting in quote unquote in real life, you lose some of that precision, I imagine.
Yeah, I wonder what it exports.
Right.
And what you're creating with. It'd be crazy if it was triangles, because that probably wouldn't be a great way to, it'd probably be like vector lines or something. But
Yes, I know what that means.
I don't know.
yeah. I always wonder, like, because our screen sizes are always getting bigger, and I always wonder
they?
if, well, yeah.
Or just like resolution.
I mean, just in general, like over the last 10 years, we've gone from small monitors to.
Hey, tell us to the iWatch.
Ooh.
That's not a real thing.
What about you?
It's a real thing.
That's a fad.
It just came out with the second
That's-
version.
Nah, get out of there. Get out of here with your iWatch. Nobody wears watches.
I saw a dude who was wearing a watch. Someone told me. I think I asked someone what time it was, and they looked at their wrist, and I'm like, "What?"
Like, what the hell is wrong with you?
Yeah.
And why do you have to ask people? Like, don't you have a cell phone?
I think we had just come off of a ride that was wet. Because we'll talk about that.
All right. But yeah, I always wonder if, like, in, I don't know, 20 years or something, we won't really have monitors. We'll just have, like, VR goggles, and the monitor will just be in a virtual space all around us. But we'll be doing the same thing,
So you always have to put on glasses before you actually can interact with anything?
That's what I reckon.
But don't you think monitors like are pretty good, where like you can cook at the same
Oh,
time?
okay, okay. Maybe you still have monitors.
Yeah.
But to really get into it, put these glasses on, and then the screen is just like all around you, and you're just like,
You won't
working.
even need like a pen, because it'll be a virtual pen,
Yeah.
and you won't
Well,
even need a chair,
Actually, just
because it'll
using
be a
it,
virtual
or even
chair.
just like if you still had a stylus and a pen tablet and stuff.
Right.
That's like quite an easy thing. You don't ever really look at what you're doing with your pen. So you could do that with the glasses on and still get the same,
What if you don't
detail.
want to have sweaty glasses on all day?
Too bad. This is the future.
Okay. Yeah, that's actually kind of what I'm worried about.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. That Oculus dev kit that I was using, man, that would get gross.
Did you
Yep.
see the Google stuff that they announced?
I saw their
The-
Pixel phone.
the
that you
Daydream
sent me.
stuff?
I didn't see that. What's
Yeah,
that?
so you can put them in the wash. They're
What?
It's like a fabric cardboard type thing, so it's a little higher end. You can
Yeah.
put your phone into it. There's a controller in the back.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah, you can put it in the wash. That's the way around it.
Awesome.
All right, cool.
I got told a friend of mine was telling me about how he was on a course, and at the end of the day, the tutors would always just put their keyboards in the dishwasher to clean them, and I was like, "Oh, you can just do that? That's great!" So I tried it, and
You
then
broke your
broke my
keyboard?
keyboard.
I think those are specific keyboards,
yeah,
maybe.
yeah, they messed that part out. I was like, "What? You can do that with a keyboard? I have no idea.
Wow.
Wouldn't that break it? No. All right, cool." And then it broke.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right, what have you been playing, Blake?
Oh, I've been playing. I've actually been playing a game that a listener told me about. They mentioned it on our.
What's it called?
It's called Osiris New Dawn.
Yeah.
And it's cool because they mentioned it on the WordPress site in response to me saying after playing No Man's Sky, I was hungry for a good space game.
Oh,
Yeah.
Ooh, take that, No Man's Sky. You
well,
burned.
it
First bad review.
well, No Man's Sky, like, I don't know. It fired my imagination enough, but it just never actually like delivered.
Right.
But yeah, this game, it's basically Ark in space, and it's in early access. So
So dinosaurs.
So it really is like Ark.
yeah, it really is. It is actually really like Ark. But yeah, like you can really tell that it's quite early on, because like they've got like there's crafting and stuff. So you've got like buildings to build and things like that. But some of them just tell you that they're not available at all right now, even though the icon is there because of the early access stuff. and they've got things that like they got these giant sandworms, which is pretty cool. 'Cause it's all set on like this desert sort of planet.
Oh.
So it's Dune.
Yeah, it's like Dune.
Mm.
And the sandworms are awesome, but there's no sound with them, so they can just
What?
sneak up on you. These giant fucking sandworms.
You don't see the ground lift up as they
No,
approach?
that's the thing. There's no like. There should be
no
like
Bugs Bunny like
no. There should be
thing?
like a rumbling or something like that, or you know,
well some kind of audio.
Literally any sort of indicator.
yeah,
would be fine.
anything. It's just completely silent. You see this thing pop up and then just like dive down in front of you. And
Is
you're
it
like,
epic? Does it do the whole whale thing? Like it pauses in the air
Oh,
and then go back down?
It looks epic until like you see it go back into the ground when it's just penetrating straight through the ground with no particle effects. Or
Do you have to
anything.
ride on the back of it to prove yourself to the Atreides?
I don't. No, you don't. You don't. And you don't become a
Spice
worm
trader.
god.
Okay.
Do you have the worm sign?
No.
Oh.
No. But that's also a thing because like these worms, you have no way of knowing where they are.
Yeah.
Right. You don't see them like doing
You
the
don't
whale
see or
thing.
hear them. There's no
You don't
indication.
see them. You don't hear them.
And then suddenly they
the only
emerge.
time you
Yeah.
ever see them is when they pop up in front of you and dive down at
Yeah.
you. Like you saw the giant sea of sand.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's real Dune like.
Yeah.
Um.
Which, by the way, Blake was showing me this game earlier. He was like showing me in advance of the podcast.
Yeah.
And he excitedly told me he got to the edge of this cliff and there was this big sea of sand, and then you could just go right out into there and there's just nothing there. And I'm like, wow, that sounds really boring. He's like, no. It's like big and empty. I'm like, yeah. That sounds really boring.
Yeah, but
You need like a vehicle or something to cross it.
Yeah, that's
great.
what I said.
So then you get to drive for 15 minutes. That doesn't sound fun.
yeah, but who knows what's on the other side? What am I?
Who
find out
cares?
there?
I don't want to spend 15 minutes to go to something. Just maybe there's something. More rocks and something to mine. Great, awesome. If there's something on the
great
other
game.
side, put it on this side. If I don't want to.
It's a space game, yeah.
Yeah,
but with sand.
Yeah. But yeah, and so it's a survival game and you build stuff, and eventually you will be able to you build a spaceship and then you can go out into space.
It's a survival game where there's no fall damage. By the way.
Yeah, that's weird. I wonder if they're gonna.
They're gonna
I wonder
add
if
that in.
like because it only just came out like last week, they just have no fall damage.
Right.
Because I don't like the movement like all that well.
Right.
Like you have a sprint, which is fine, but it sort of like uses up your oxygen level, and
Does that replenish?
yeah, that replenishes
Okay.
unless you get a leak, and then you have to tape it up with duct tape.
Wait, really?
Where do you get duct tape from?
I don't know. I
Mine
just
it.
started with like
Oh,
duct
yeah.
tape, and I'm like, man, I've got to be careful not to puncture it. And there's plants all around
Oh.
that are spiky,
Ugh,
and if you get too close, oh man, they'll puncture your suit, and you got to
that's
tape it up.
silly.
But there's a lot of like, I saw that there's like a lot of like bars and like numbers and things that don't change. Like your flashlight, it has a in your inventory. It has a thing about your flashlight battery level that never changes. It's got an inventory thing about your jetpack fuel, and that never changes. So
Right, so
there's a lot of stuff
It's
that's
stuff
not.
that's just going to be added in.
Yeah.
Well, okay, I'm going to preface this by saying I don't think survival games are for me
Yeah, I don't think they are for you.
because I quite like the challenge of like staying alive against the odds. What I don't like is having to manage like going to the bathroom or
Oh, your suit just takes care of that.
or like
Recycling into water.
body temperature is kind of an annoying thing.
Yeah, but actually, body temperature is part of it as
Uh,
well. Because if you sprint, your suit heats up too much, so you have to slowly start walking again.
See, comes a point where you've got so many variables and you have to keep track of so many of them.
Yeah,
But
but
it just becomes like more of a I'll just stay in the base because I don't want to deal with it.
sure.
Like I don't want to do anything.
But you do reach to a point where you don't have to worry about that. Like,
Well, then what's the point of the game?
good question.
You're trying to get good gear. You're trying
You're
to.
trying to get to the point where you don't have to survive,
Kinda, yeah. And then
And
you
then
can
what?
just roam off into the
and
desert.
then you can go walk
explore.
into your desert.
Yeah, then I'm looking forward to
lost
that.
in
I
there.
can't wait till I build a
Nah.
vehicle and just ride off into the desert.
I have to be the naysayer here. I think this
It's
is.
fine. Like,
I think
it's fine.
It's There's so many games like it that it's just
that's
it's
true.
the same old thing with a new skin,
Yeah,
and that's
It
to me kind of like whatever.
yeah. But I like the idea that you can go to different planets, which is very No Man's Sky-ish.
Yep.
But you have actually
turned out
something
well.
to do on but you actually have something to do on the planets, which is like building bases
So,
and getting resources. And,
You said they're planning how many planets?
So man, I'm so sure I read this somewhere. It must have been on their Steam page, but I'm pretty sure it's not in the game. But they're planning like I read 60 like handmade planets. So
Right.
I guess emphasizing handmade. They didn't want to say procedurally generated
Right,
because
right.
that's a bit of a
Now
bad word
frowned
at the
upon.
moment. Yeah.
How many are there right now?
1.
Yeah, and how complete is it?
Well, it's the desert planet,
Well, the planet itself is pretty complete. Like, I mean, I've only seen a small area of it, but
Right.
it's already like in that small area. It's more interesting than one whole or dozens of planets in No Man's Sky.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Is there water?
No.
Okay.
You have to make. Well, that's also a thing. Is like, you're supposed to be like replenishing your water, right? And you get that through like a machine that you build. So it like,
Is it a moisture
there's-
collector?
yeah,
are
something
you
like
a
moisture.
literal moisture farmer?
you're
Are you
a
on
moisture
Tatooine?
farmer. It could be. It looks like Tatooine, but like needing water doesn't even seem to be a factor at the moment. Like,
Okay.
yeah. So I mean, it's super early. I feel like it's even earlier than how Ark was. Like when I first started playing Ark.
I don't like this trend. Of,
But here's the thing. Here's actually what made me buy it. It was only $30
so it was only half the price of a full price
of No
game.
Man's Sky. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
And
it's
I
currently one planet out of 60.
But that planet is already more interesting than any of the planets in No Man's Sky.
Okay, but what's your goal?
I don't have goals.
Because right now, most of the challenge components aren't even working.
That's
Like,
true. That's
most
true.
of the things that are going to make the game difficult aren't there.
Yeah.
So right
that's
now,
true.
all you've actually purchased is something to mine rocks on.
Yeah, kind of. I don't know. I think my goal at the moment is just to like explore the whole like
Explore Tatooine.
Yeah, explore Tatooine. I really want to go out into that desert and see what's up. But it's also like it makes me excited for what they're gonna do. And
Okay,
maybe that's
That's really what the problem with these pre-release, these like early releases,
But
is
but
they are
again-
selling the game on the promise of what it could do, not
Yeah.
on what it's actually doing.
Yeah.
Now, like Path of Exile was an early release game, but like the game systems were there,
Yeah.
and like
Well, it already was basically a full game when we released.
I think it was 2 acts when we
it was 2 acts. I remember
something like
playing
that.
through 2 acts
And-
and they were
and-
complete.
And there were 4 difficulties, and
Mm.
like there was the predecessor to the maps, so like
Yeah.
there was plenty of gameplay, and plenty
Yeah.
of skill gems, and
Yeah.
plenty of gear items, and like there's I think such a huge difference between what early release has become, early access, whatever, and what it
Mm.
used to be. Or it used to be we're finishing things up.
Mm.
Now it's we have a prototype.
Yeah, it is a little bit like that.
I don't like it.
It is a little
Don't,
bit like
guys, just finish your game.
But dude, the thing is, if the price is right, I'm willing
But
to.
you paid
do it.
half a full price game for less than like
It's
2%.
It'll be fine. I didn't think of that. I just thought like, man, No Man's Sky was like $80 when I bought it or whatever. This is $30. I'm into it.
Okay.
But I was also playing.
Fingers crossed that it works out.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I mean, yeah.
Also, like this turns out, paying for the full game in early access doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get all the content.
yeah.
Because what's Ark doing?
Oh, you mean the
the expansion
yeah.
for the game that's not out.
I haven't bought that because of
Because it's not out.
yeah,
it's
'cause
not a complete
out.
game.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. One of my mates that is really into Ark. Man, he was pushing so hard for us to buy that DLC because it looks really cool. And I was
Right.
like, yeah, that looks really awesome. But
Is it complete? Are they?
I have no idea because the main game is still in early access.
Here's what we've got planned for DLC. Here's 5% of it.
I don't know. It looks complete. Like there's a lot of like different stuff in there. It's basically Ark. I mean, you saw it. It's Ark in a dragon world. It's pretty cool. But dragons were in their original trailer for Ark, and now they're like, oh,
Now you get to pay for them
yeah,
again.
now you gotta pay for them. Like, what?
Yay! Money.
But yeah, like that. I didn't buy it because like it doesn't smell right to me.
No.
I've heard plenty of people, justify it, and that's fine. If you want to buy it, then that's fine. But I don't want to set a trend for other developers. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I don't want I don't want people to see this as a possible thing to be like, if this Osiris game, comes out suddenly with paid DLC, it's not good. It's not a good. I don't think it's a good trend at all.
I am worried we are heading towards a 1980s style crash because there's more and more money coming out of video games, and so there's more and more money being put into video games, and then there are a lot of people who are getting into video games for the money,
right,
and mismanaging it or misappropriating funds. There was a Kickstarter called Project Phoenix,
okay,
which it got over $1 million. This was 3 years ago. I checked their Kickstarter. I didn't contribute. I used to do work for the guy who is running this project.
Yep.
Into the ground.
Oh, jeez.
Damn. Now I see why you don't work for him anymore.
Well, he ran the other project into the ground as well. Anyway, they did an update recently where it was like, here's what's going on in the company. We are doing some QA work for hire.
Oh, what?
And finishing up another work for hire game, and we bought a meeting table.
Oh my god!
And
That's great.
Also, we're planning the scenario for Acts 1 and 2 of the game you paid for 3 years ago.
Oh Jesus!
Like, what is going on with that? 3 years ago, they got $1 million. 3 years later, they are planning the scenario. You know what? They didn't get a programmer until about a year ago.
Oh,
A little less than a year ago. They didn't have a programmer for 2 and a bit years. It's like, this is just such a sign to me that it's attracting people who have less of an interest in games as a product or an art, and more as a business, and that's not good. Especially with all the early access stuff. It's not good.
I just kind of don't like that. Half the new releases on Steam these days or over half the new releases are just early access games.
Yeah, it is. I genuinely think this is heading towards a collapse of some sort. Yeah. There is going to be a point at which there are more games making promises and looking for funding than there are people willing to.
Yeah, it might
bet on them.
It might just get to a point where nobody wants to buy bloody early access games anymore.
And a bunch of studios are going to close down as a result. And there's going to be a few large studios remaining, and a lot of indie startups that do shoestring budget stuff. And then it's just going to be like a complete change to probably a revert to the old ways. Because I can't see this being sustainable.
What made you buy the Osiris game?
Oh man,
you saw it as $30 and you're like, oh, this is a sweet deal.
It was kind of an impulse purchase in a way.
You're encouraging that kind of behavior, Blake.
Yep, I know. But I checked it out online first and was like, oh yeah, this looks like, it's got something there. Like, it's got content.
Yeah. Okay.
And dude, like I was saying, No Man's Sky just made me want a game with content. Yeah.
I could recommend you one game.
And I was saying on the last podcast what I thought No Man's Sky was worth, and I said it was like I'd pay $30 for it.
Oh.
Right. And then I was like, oh shit, this game is $30. And a lot of the reviews are saying this is what No Man's Sky should have been like. And I'm like, I'm in there. Also, the amount of positive reviews for it got me because they were all mostly positive.
Who's reviewing this game? It's not out yet.
Users.
This is so annoying to me.
Yeah.
I get so angry when I hear about this stuff.
I don't know. I just wanted a decent space game. Why is that so hard? Why can't I have that? Yeah. So I guess we'll see how this turns out. But I'm okay because it only paid $30 for it, so I'm not which might be a lot of money to some people, but luckily it's okay. But also, I also bought another early access game.
Oh God!
This was
Damn it, Blake.
I think this was only like.
What are you doing? No, bad Blake.
This game was I think it was only like 15. I think so. It's all
What's
right.
it called?
It's called Folktale.
What was it?
Folktale.
Okay.
And it is it's actually way more complete than I think Osiris is. Like it's actually been in development for like.
What
quite
style
a
of game
while.
is it?
It's a village management game.
Okay.
So it's like what's that one? Banished. Have you guys ever seen that?
Nope.
That game you're basically creating a village in the frontier.
Right.
And in Folktale you're creating a village in like a fantasy, but basically a giant fantasy island. It's populated with like trolls and giant spiders and things like that. And so you build up like this settlement, and it's got the whole thing of like you tell your guys to like people to collect resources and things like that. But then you start building buildings that you start needing resources that rely on other resources that rely on other resources, kind of thing. So you end up with like this House of Cards kind of situation where
turn to the camera and start talking.
Yeah, and you kill a dog in the opening scene.
Sorry, anyway.
Yeah, and it's so you end up with like resources depending on other resources, and your villagers will start have like wants and needs and things like that. So you're managing those sorts of things, and you might see that like they're lacking in one resource, like clothes, for example. They might be like, oh, I don't have.
Oh no, I've made a naked village.
Yeah. Oh, they're starting to get low on clothing. What? So I go, okay, why? So I go, okay, why is that? Is it because?
Why is that?
Okay.
Who's eating the clothes?
Is it because like there aren't enough people making the clothes, or is it because there's not enough resource for making the clothes, or is it that there's not enough earlier resource for making the resource that is needed for the clothes? So it's got like this crazy chain thing. And Banished was a lot like that. Like,
Okay.
But Banished, you would basically get to a point where you're self-sustaining, and then you're just sort of sitting there going, well, I guess I'll just like get bigger and bigger and whatever. But in this, it's like you get to a point where you're pretty much self-sustaining, and then you're like, right, I can like build an army.
Right.
Well, not so much an army, but like a little militia.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you outfit those guys with weapons and armor and stuff that you build as, you have a blacksmith, and he'll build stuff from the resources that have been gathered, and those little guys like level up as well.
Mm-hmm.
So they're not just, you don't really want to just throw them away, because you don't want to send them in to die, because they'll get stronger if they survive. And then you can go out and like take over like little goblin villages and
do
things
quests
like that.
and stuff.
Yeah, there's like I think that there's some there actually is some like quests.
It's good. I like that there's objectives to pursue.
Yeah, that's what I really liked about it.
That sounds cool. That's actually a game I'd probably be interested in. I like those sorts of slow burning management games with an end goal. I've discovered I am an objective oriented gamer in a lot of cases.
Yeah.
And that's called
Folktale.
Folktale.
It's it's
$15.
early access, but it's like,
see, that sounds much more $15, and that's way more appealing
15, maybe 20
than walking around in a desert for a year.
I think it was definitely it was cheaper than 30, and I'm pretty sure it was under 20, so something around there.
Okay.
Cool. Yeah, that was pretty good.
Let's talk about me.
Let's talk about you, Nick.
So I went away. I'm sure.
Did you?
I think so. Man, you're so mean. I went to the U.S. for a vacation and to visit my family and my girlfriend's and meet my girlfriend's family. And as part of that, I went to Disney World for basically a week. It was like 6 days at the actual parks, which is a lot of time. And while I was there, I noticed video games are everywhere.
They're pretty big.
Yeah, but not just that, but they are just like gap fillers at the Disney parks now. And not just that. I mean, one of the favorite rides of the family I went with is basically a video game. So there's a ride that's been around for maybe a decade called like Buzz Lightyear Star Command, something like that.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
And basically, you're on a track in a car with like a souped up laser pointer, and you're hitting targets with your souped up laser pointer, and so is the person next to you, and they sort of keep score. And the targets are like actual targets, basically plastered around wooden cutouts of like Emperor Zurg and stuff like that. So it's not really a video game. It's just, but it is a game, right? It's like a carnival game.
Do they look much cooler than wooden cutouts?
They're like beautifully painted wooden cutouts, but like, and it's quite cool. But ultimately, they're kind of like it's meant to be like a simulation, a training simulation, rather than
Gotcha,
you are actually fighting Emperor Zurg.
Oh, what for like a
for
space cadet? Or
exactly,
something
exactly. Because you're at Space Command,
right?
Or Star Command, right?
Yeah.
Then they released, I guess within like the last year or so, maybe a couple years, another one. I think it's like called Toy Overload or something, like Toy Story Toy Overload. I don't know the exact name, but basically it's the same concept, except they've done away with all the practical stuff. It's literally you sit in a cart and you get zipped between screens when you've got 3D glasses on, and you play a shooting gallery game.
Nice.
And you have like the trigger is like a pop gun, and so it's like a ball on a string, and you pull it back and it goes, and then like you can see on the screen a ball fly towards wherever you're aiming.
Oh wow.
In like a little arc, and you've got your 3D glasses on, so there's a sense of like depth to it. But it's all on a screen, and all of the action's happening on screens, and it's not like your thing is constantly moving. It zips between screens and stops and waits for you to play the game for a while. So it's literally like you're going in and you're staying in line for an hour to play like a fairly basic shooting gallery game.
How much did you pay to play this
game? I mean, whatever the admission of the park was, right? But it's well done, and it's actually quite a fun game. That's and cool. Like there's like levels of mastery there, and as evidenced by the fact that I got a great score. But it's just funny to me that they kind of just did away with the ride component for the most part. The ride is sort of secondary to the game, and people love it. And it's like one of the most popular rides at like Hollywood Studios. But there are also games placed in queues in the lines for the rides. If Space Mountain is like one of the most popular rides at the Magic Kingdom Park, you could be standing in line for about an hour, maybe. And there is a section in the line where there's just a bunch of screens and like I didn't get to play it because I always had a fast pass for that ride.
Oh, right.
But it looked like it was like a trash management game. Basically, like space debris would fly in and you'd control a thing that would try and grab the space debris and move it out. And it's not like you're trying to go for a high score, and I don't think there is anything like I don't think there was like an ending or levels or anything, but it's something to do. Like it's an interactive thing that you can. It's sort of on theme, and
so they kind of designed it because the line will be moving, right? So you can't.
Yeah. So you're not compelled to stand there for a super long time, but it's while you're standing there, you've got something to do. And there was another one called the like Seven Dwarfs Mine Cart, something or other, whatever. And same deal. There was a like color and shape matching game in the line that for you to play with, and it's just cool that like, and also kind of scary that like games are just part of now the immersion elements at Disney World. And Disney World is like the Disney theme parks are all about world building, and so to go down the video game route is really interesting to me.
Do you think they did that because they noticed people in line just playing on their phone?
Maybe. I mean, I suspect they did it because previously you would have like just decorations, right? If you're in the Pirates of the Caribbean ride, you've got like a cannon and like some barrels of rum and some pirate gold and some chests and whatever. And you look at it and you go, wow, that's really cool. Look how detailed this is. And then you're still standing there for another 2 minutes before you get to move forward. Yep. This, you now get to like, you look at there's still tons of decoration, But then when you're not looking at decoration, you're occupied doing something else, and not really like losing out on the experience at all. Disney sort of lives and dies by people having a good time.
Yeah.
And as like populations continue to grow, the amount of attractions they can fit in a park doesn't really grow, and so they have to find more efficient ways to keep people having a good time. And so putting games in lines is such a clever and kind of surprising direction they went in. Like I wouldn't have expected it, but it didn't seem out of place, and they did a really good job.
How is it getting from ride to ride? Is there some entertainment to be had on your way to rides? Or just people dressed up?
I mean, there are people dressed up. Like in the Toy Story area, there are people who dress up as like the green soldiers and stuff, and they'll march.
Awesome. Do they have the feet thing?
Yes.
Okay, so they're hopping around?
Big flat pieces on their feet.
Wow.
Awesome.
And they, I remember as we were leaving, one of the soldiers just followed a woman around, and that's all he did was just follow her.
Creepy.
And she didn't notice for like,
wow.
at least while I was there, I watched for like 2 minutes, and she was just wandering. She went to the pretzel stand, got a pretzel, and he's still standing behind her. And she
Would he freeze like if she turned around?
I don't remember. I don't
Okay.
think so. Although
that would be
I've heard, if you shout "Andy's coming" to any of the Toy Story characters, they fall on the ground.
Oh, wow.
Awesome.
When I saw a pair of girls shout "Andy's coming" to the soldiers, and they replied with something like, "No, he's not. But thanks for keeping on your toes," or something. I don't remember. But basically, they didn't drop on the ground.
I didn't feel like it.
No.
They're just like, nah, not today.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like 30 degrees outside,
Yeah,
fellas.
yeah.
It was way warmer than 30.
Every 5 minutes we
It
got one
was
of these
so
bloody
warm.
kids coming up here and shouting about Andy. We're not doing this.
Yeah. Come on, brats.
Come on.
You know, I bet if Walt Disney was around right now, he'd be a game developer.
You reckon?
Maybe. He was a very creative person.
Yeah, I
He
think
was
that's
also
probably the new
hated Jews.
frontier. What's that?
He was anti-Semitic.
No.
Yeah, he really was.
I don't think he was.
wasn't. He wasn't.
Like-
He was.
Like
though.
from that book, I didn't get that impression.
Yeah, I didn't get that from that book. He at the worst, he was sort of just oblivious. Like maybe
Okay.
like anti-Semitic stuff would get into like the movies, but he's just like I don't know,
I don't know anything about those
I don't
people.
know.
All right,
Jeez.
fair enough.
whatever.
Well,
South. What was it? Tales of the South though.
Hotels out with Brer
That's
Rabbit.
considered like their most racist movie.
I
I think it's called Tales of the South. or South
Song of the
Tales.
South. I think is what you're.
Song of the South.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never actually seen it.
Wait, Blake, you actually had a thing. I want to hear
Oh
about
no,
it.
I mean, no.
Oh, were you?
You still got stuff to talk about.
Oh yeah. Where
Like-
else were you in America? You were gone for like a month.
I went to Vegas. Vegas, obviously, lots of gambling, lots of slot machines. Slot machines are definitely taking some lessons from video games. And in fact, there were some slot machines based on existing video games.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Got that
There's-
Flappy Bird slot machine.
No, but there was a Bejeweled one,
Oh.
and there was a Zuma one.
Oh, Zuma.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which is another PopCap game.
Yeah.
And
So PopCap had just.
PopCap's gotten. There was some like Konami
Oh, my
Uh,
God.
property ones. There was a Dungeons and Dragons slot machine that I tried very briefly.
Wow.
That was not good. Um,
Was it just like roll a d20 and see you lose?
critical fail.
$50?
Critical fail.
Yeah.
Just saps the money out of your account. There was a Monopoly machine that we played the most of. That was pretty good.
Oh wow.
It had some kind of interesting game elements.
You saw talking about Disneyland. You mentioned Disney World. I heard that there was like this. What's it called? Alternate reality game that happens within the parks, and
Yeah.
you saw someone
Yeah.
doing
So in Magic Kingdom, I think I don't know where you start it or anything, but it seems like there's like a sort of treasure hunt style game.
yeah.
Where there are like symbols and clues all scattered all throughout the parks, and you have to keep your eye out for them. And I think maybe you have a key or something.
Mm.
Maybe you might do some of that with your cell phone. Apparently, there is some stuff that you do with your cell phone. There's like a similar thing in the Epcot
Right.
park. But I saw like coming out of Pirates of the Caribbean, a father and his kid walk up to like I think it was like a crate with like a clock on it, and like a grandfather clock, and he did something, and the clock had some lights appear around it, and then like a symbol appear on it, like light up on it on the wood. Like it wasn't on the clock face or anywhere where there was obviously like a place for stuff to appear. It was just beautifully well hidden.
Was this outside?
This is inside. This was inside the gift store.
Right. Okay.
And then they jotted something down and they moved on. So there's like obviously some sort of like treasure hunty thing, but it's beautifully intertwined with the world and the decorations. Man, Disney's so good at world building. It's crazy. And they are using some amazing practical and special effects to do it.
You want to talk about the Beauty and the Beast guy?
If you are near a computer right now, you should Google I think Beauty and the Beast, Disney World, mirror maybe or Lumiere. You could also Google Lumiere, and there's like a 15-minute video of a full tour of like the Belle's magical experience or something like that. But basically, it's like the actual thing is little kids get to play out a bit from Beauty and the Beast, which is not that interesting. But as a part of that, they have the best animatronics I've ever seen, and they have the craziest like entry experience I've ever seen. Where I don't know that I want to spoil it, but it involves a mirror on the wall.
Yeah, I reckon. Okay, I reckon. Do
you want to post it on Facebook or something?
Yeah, we can post it on the Facebook. Okay. But if you don't want it to be spoiled, skip ahead a couple minutes because.
Okay, you really want to discuss it?
Yeah, because it's cool.
Yeah. Okay, skip ahead about I don't know a couple minutes.
All right, you've been warned.
Yeah. Basically, you're standing in this room, and I saw this in person, and it's incredible in person, and it was really cool in video, but in person, it's like I'm kind of unbelievable. And you're looking at a mirror on the wall, and the like Disney employee says something like, "We're gonna we need to take you back to when Belle met the Beast, so we're gonna chant something," and you chant the thing, and then the frame of the mirror sort of starts to twinkle and light up in like a magical way, and I mean I'm going, okay, cool, they're projecting a light on it, and then the mirror starts to show images of like the kingdom, and then the mirror starts to stretch and deform and grow larger, and the kingdom sort of sweeps across to the front of the castle door, and so now the mirror is just looking like the door, and then the door opens up, and then you walk through it.
Yeah.
And it's like, so all you know is I was looking at a mirror, the mirror showed some images, and now I'm walking through the mirror. What is going on here?
You figured out how they did it.
Yes.
Right? Like,
yeah. It's it's a sort of a false wall with some sliding panels and like to make the mirror grow. And the mirror is actually a screen. It's actually two screens that separate, and like they're sort of seamlessly put together. And so when the door is shown as opening, the screen is separating at the same time. But you cannot tell the first time you've seen it unless you're like really looking for it.
I mean, it helps that it's quite a dark.
Yes,
area, for sure.
They do some amazing things with lighting, to immerse you, and they do a lot of interesting things with like transparent materials to make things light up or to hide and then reveal stuff. Like if you've ever been in like the Haunted Mansion, have you guys ever been to?
I've never been to
any Disney parks.
I haven't even been to New Zealand's Rainbow's End.
You haven't been there?
I've never been there.
Wow.
So Haunted Mansion, like the intro, one of the first things you do is you walk into this like sort of octagonal room, and the wall closes behind you, and you realize there's no way out. And a dude starts talking, and there are these paintings around. They're kind of like cheesy looking paintings, but then they start to grow. The paintings start to grow taller and taller.
Oh shit!
And these sort of quirky but creepy sight gags are revealed at the bottom end. Like there's a noble looking guy who is then revealed that he's not wearing any pants,
right.
And then it's revealed that he's sitting on a grave.
Yeah.
And then the creepy set voice says, "Now you realize that there's no way out of the room but one. My way out." And then the room goes dark in a flash of lightning, and you look up, and there's a guy hanging from the rafters.
Oh shit!
But you couldn't see him before because the roof is opaque
Right.
until there's a light behind it and the light in your side is off. It's like one way glass or whatever.
Oh,
but
yeah,
it's done,
yeah,
I think
I
it's
get
done with like a material. So that's like one of the examples of the stuff they do with like transparent materials and lighting. And they use it a lot, but they use it to such great effect that you never notice it until like it's the trick has already been pulled. And so the animatronics, my God. While you're looking at that Beauty and the Beast thing, look at the Lumiere animatronic candle is ridiculously lifelike. I don't know how they did it.
Yeah, that is pretty crazy. When I saw that, I was like, it looks like 3D animation, like
Yes,
but it's
sitting in the room
yeah.
and you can look at it, and if no one's looking, you could probably touch it.
Yeah. Oh man, I wonder what they'd do if you went to reach up and have it.
Be kicked out of the park, probably.
But would they be in character? Somehow.
Maybe. Time to be executed.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's also like some really outdated stuff that looks terrible. Of course.
Oh right.
There's a thing called the Carousel of Progress, which is you sit down. And you are looking at some old animatronics from like, I think the last time it was updated was 1993.
See, but then that even sounds interesting to me, like old animatronics.
Yeah, it's like the dude doesn't look. It's like you can recognize that it's meant to be a person, but you're not like, oh, who's that? You know, and it's like, well, this is back in the 1900s, and look how advanced are we? We have a stove that doesn't set the house on fire. You know, that sort of thing. And then the chair you're sitting, the chairs everyone's sitting in rotate to the next section.
Oh, right.
Like the seats rotate, the stage doesn't.
Oh, yeah. I've heard of that.
And then it's like the 1920s, and look how advanced we are. We have electric lighting. And it's the 1940s. We can play music, blah, blah, blah. And so, but like you get to the part where it's like forward looking at the future. And it's like, there's HD television and of the virtual reality game.
Everyone has a jetpack,
a talking oven, but it was all of these things exist or are bad.
Yeah.
And so it's
dude,
like really outdated.
I still like that's still fascinating to me from a I don't know intellectual point of view or something.
It's kind of funny. It's also really sexist.
Really?
The woman's always in the kitchen.
Oh.
Even in the 1993
even in the future?
Yeah.
What is that?
Yeah, we've got talking ovens.
Yeah.
We don't need people in the kitchen.
It's that one's really funny. It's worth saying because of how wrong it is.
When does it stop? At the 90s?
They never given a year for the forward-looking one, but
Okay.
it was last updated in 1993. I checked on Wikipedia.
Okay.
But all of that technology is now outdated.
Yeah.
The forward-looking
That's
stuff.
great. Dude, I love that kind of thing. Like
one of the things they mentioned is a car phone.
What? A car phone? A phone that's in your car?
Yeah.
How?
How do they do it?
Doesn't it need to be plugged into the wall somewhere?
It's so funny.
It must have a massive antenna on it, though, surely.
Uh,
There's a YouTube clip of I think it must have been maybe a World's Fair or something like that, and it was from must have been the 50s.
Mm-hmm.
It can't have been the 40s. Must have been the 50s. But it was like the home of tomorrow.
Yeah.
And it was like everything was all, but it was super sexist as well. Because
Right,
it was
of course.
like, you know,
Because that doesn't update.
yeah. But it was like, you know, the woman in the kitchen, and she's just like, everything is at a push of a button, but it's like everything was buttons.
Yeah.
Like you press everything for like button for.
And there's a
toast,
panel
button
on the
for
wall or something like that.
Yeah.
It's all just in one panel.
Yeah, and then there's like the dad in his study, looking at like, there's basically do you know what a microfiche machine is?
Yeah, the ones at the library.
Yeah. It kind of looks like that, but it's supposed to be like he's paying the bills on his computer, and it's got like a screen and stuff, and which is kind of real and now,
Mm-hmm.
you know, because it's just, you know, you do banking or whatever
Right,
on the
right,
internet.
right.
But it envisioned it as like an actual physical kind of like, well, not physical, but an actual representation of like an actual page would like slot into view,
Right.
And he'd like, I don't know, do something, and then
The writing would
he'd
appear.
press a button, and a new page would like slot into view,
Right.
Like just like those microfiche
Right.
machines.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, that kind of stuff is like,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah,
to look back
it's
on and be like, this
fascinating
is
to
what
go
they
like-
thought it was going to be like, and they're almost there with the
because you can see where they thought.
Yeah.
It's like you can only really base things on concepts you understand.
yeah.
And like we're now like several steps divorced from all of those things or
Mm.
whatever. So like at that point they have the microfiche thing. They can't fathom of a screen, that is as flexible as a
Yeah.
computer screen, But you get to that point and then it's like, well, you look at Star Trek and it's still all sort of monochrome screens,
yeah,
right?
Do the old
Because can't fathom colors.
Yeah, I think what's cool is I've been watching over the last year. I've been watching The Next Generation because it's on
Yeah.
Netflix. Dude, it's so cool. Like they're just walking around with like basically iPads and tablets and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like, I mean, because it's a prop, there's like nothing on it. It's just a
No.
light with, I guess, some sort of like film type thing to make
Right.
it look like there's a screen there. But I'm sitting there going, oh man, this is just my phone. Like, it's amazing.
Yep. Sliding doors.
Sliding doors, yep, sliding doors.
Out
But
of-
then you look at the the 60s one, and it's like, oh god,
Yeah.
they had no clue. I mean,
Well,
sliding doors was
they only
like a
they only
thing.
had what they
That's
had
true.
to base it off of what
They
they
had the flip
knew,
phones. They managed that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty amazing.
But oh yeah, there was also something crazy. Was this weird thought that I had was watching Next Generation. They were orbiting some planet.
Yep.
And one of the guys says to the captain, "Oh, the whatever the alien race was, they've given us access to their central computer, so the ship can now communicate with the thing." And I was like,
that one computer.
So hold on a minute. So, like, they couldn't envision like an internet. If that was like modern day, they'd just be
Right.
like, the planet has given us their Wi-Fi password.
Yeah.
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 Now we have access to all their
Well,
stuff.
that's basically what they. Yeah.
That is what
as
they did, but
close as
they
get,
envisioned it
yeah.
as a central thing, and all the civilizations they meet
Right.
all have a central computer core that's like runs the whole planet.
Yeah,
kind of thing.
that's funny to me that like when it's so decentralized.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, but
Now it's like,
it-
what
I
is
can't
that?
imagine it going in that direction
Yeah.
because that would be such like such a vulnerable system,
Yeah.
right?
There was a really depressing movie I saw a little while ago. Do you remember AI? I think Spielberg did.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you remember the parts of that movie? How
Remember the end?
I studied that movie for school.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I
yeah.
did an assignment on it.
Oh.
Do you remember the part where the boy meets the dude and then they go to find like this all-knowing
Yes.
thing?
Yes.
Oh, right.
The blue fairy.
Yeah, the blue
Yes.
fairy. Isn't that really sad?
Oh, that's heartbreaking.
Yeah. Just the idea that you have to go to this one person that knows everything.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
you couldn't
Well,
access information everywhere.
Also, wasn't
like,
it? It wasn't. I mean, spoilers for anybody who hasn't seen it. It's a theme park thing.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah.
It's not. It's all based on Pinocchio, right?
Mm.
And
Well, he was wrong in thinking because he wanted to be a real boy.
yes,
And he
he's
knew
thought
about
the
Pinocchio. And
yeah the blue
thought-
fairy makes Pinocchio a real boy,
Yeah.
and the blue fairy was this. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
that's
met
it,
a they
yeah.
met a Einstein AI at some point, didn't they? Or like a computer hologram of like an Einstein head that answered questions or something.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
I think that's where they asked something about where to find the blue fairy or something, and I can't remember.
You're talking about AI, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what they do.
Yeah.
It's very sad.
Yeah.
That movie's so heartbreaking. Ugh. Don't watch that if you want to have a good time.
Yeah, that movie.
Watch that
is-
if you want to like
man.
weep for a little while.
I do like that movie. Did not do well, but I still think
I
about
thought it
it
was
every
good.
once in a while.
Yeah. I quite liked that one.
Like when didn't he get abandoned in the forest at some point? Didn't somebody try to abandon him in the forest?
He got dumped at like a robot junkyard,
Yeah.
and like all these robot survivors were like, and then like people who would make the robots fight each other for their
Yeah,
amusement,
that's right.
and then he and Jude Law run away.
Yeah.
Jude Law is definitely the right choice to have someone portray a robot. That dude looks like a
yeah.
weird robot.
Yeah.
But the ending of that film just
Dude, the ending of that film was
Ugh.
like, that was
Sad.
like, where the hell did that ending come with the aliens and stuff? Is that what you're talking about?
I'm talking about okay, again, spoilers.
Yeah, jeez, just
Um,
throw it out
this
there.
is a like 15-year-old movie. Come on,
Yeah.
nobody's.
Have you heard about? Have you seen the ending of Ben Hur? It's crazy. No, the part where like he's frozen, and then the
Yeah.
aliens restore him, and he goes basically into his own mind and into a simulation with his mother.
Yeah, that's right, because his mother's there.
But it's a simulated mother
yeah.
who,
So-
she'll never grow old, he'll never grow old, but and they'll live sort of in this weird stasis forever,
Yeah,
which is sort of like sweet, but at the same time, oh my god, that's so sad.
Yeah. Yeah, that movie was super weird.
I liked it.
Yeah, I liked it too. Like I said, I still sometimes think about it every
Yeah.
once in a while.
To me, that's the sign of a. You can look at a movie and like reviews and whatever. If something like lingers in your mind, that to me is a sign of like a good piece of work.
Yeah.
There's something important to be said there. I don't know. Anyway, how much time we got left?
10, 15
All right.
minutes.
I've got a thing.
All right, hit me with it.
This has got absolutely nothing to do with video games.
Yeah, Blake was teasing me with it
Yeah.
a couple of days ago. No, I'm not sure if you heard about it, Nick, but Blake had something. Well,
I had something, so-
what do you got?
There's nothing to do with video games at all. But have you heard about the clowns?
What?
Have you heard about you were just in America? Did you hear about the clowns?
Oh, is this the clowns that were hanging out in the woods?
This is about
in a small village.
So
I've heard about this.
Yeah, so a couple
Yes.
months ago, a couple months ago in South Carolina, it started that kids were out playing and they came home saying that they'd seen creepy clowns just standing around in the forest, and
They would wave at the kids and go,
yeah,
"Come here, little boy."
yeah, and they were trying to lure them with like money and candy and stuff like that, and it was like, this is super weird.
Yeah.
And I just thought, oh yeah, that's a weird like story, but it just kept going. Like these sightings kept popping up,
And more clowns started turning up,
and
right?
more and more clowns started showing up, and then adults started seeing them. Like one woman saw one near her home at like 2 a.m. in the morning, just like standing there.
Yeah.
And super weird. And then it started spreading to neighboring towns.
Yeah.
And it's so it got to a point where like police got involved and are like arresting clowns now.
Awesome.
And yeah,
About
and
time.
and that's the thing. And it's always like it totally is like teenagers and young adults and stuff
Just
that think it's a fun thing to
Yeah.
do.
4chaners
Yeah,
probably.
but it gets to a point where it's like they're walking around with knives and machetes, and like
Ugh.
I saw a video of like a clown with a chainsaw, and it's just like this is going too
Okay,
far.
yeah,
like,
you're
someone could
ruining
easily
the
get
joke
hurt
now.
here.
Yeah.
And I heard one update where this woman who was working at a school, I think she said she went out for a smoke or something, and this clown like came up and put his hand on her neck and said, "I'm gonna kill you," and
Ugh.
or something like that, and then ran off. And it's like becoming beyond a joke now, but
Yeah.
it's still spreading everywhere. And
You're bringing it to New Zealand.
I don't need to bring it to New Zealand. It's already here.
Wow.
A few days ago in Powarua,
Yeah.
there was a sighting in a children's playground
No.
of some kids were like playing, football or rugby or whatever, and the ball went over to some bushes, and the guy went over there and saw a clown just standing in these bushes, like looking at them.
No.
And so they got the kids out, and everyone went home. But
No one called the cops on this guy?
well, yeah, they did, and
Okay.
the cops are saying like, you have nothing to fear from these clowns, like saying don't panic, because the thing is like, I mean, they are not the New Zealand one, but some of these guys do seem quite threatening, like running around with knives and stuff. But the fear is that they're gonna panic someone so much that they're just gonna like shoot them. you
Okay.
know. So they're gonna.
Yeah, but if a clown dies, is that such a loss?
Well,
If you're dressing up, here's my thought on the matter.
yeah.
If you're going to dress up and threaten people,
Yeah.
don't expect them to not
Yeah.
retaliate.
And the thing is, like, there's been, like, for several years, there's been clowns in towns that would be like the resident creepy clown. Like, there was,
I remember there was one in the UK.
yeah, there was
and
one in the UK who would just stand around at
Yeah.
night. But that's the thing; he was standing there, not
doing anything.
not luring anyone,
No,
not brandishing knives, not chasing after
just
people.
being a creepy presence
yeah.
rather than being an actual creep.
And he had a Facebook page, and people would like upload photos of like, oh, I saw them,
Yes.
I saw him here, I saw him there. This is like a step too far.
This is far
you
too
know.
far, yeah.
But here's the thing: is that it's taken a hit on the professional clowns.
Oh,
Like
Oh,
professional
of
clowns,
course.
yeah,
Why would you hire a party clown?
and so now the
But to be
professional-
fair, why would you hire a party clown in the first place?
that's I mean, good point.
Yeah.
I've never I've been to birthday. I remember going to birthday parties where there was a clown and I hated it.
Yeah,
never
I've
liked
never been
clowns.
to a birthday party with a clown. Been to birthday parties with magicians. They're pretty cool.
Okay, sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
they're cool.
Yeah.
Smashed up my friend's watch and then gave
And
it
then
to
left.
him, and then yeah, and then left.
I was like, that's a pretty cool trick.
I was like, who
It was the
hired that
magician
guy?
who disappeared.
The parents were like, "Did you hire him? No, did you?
No.
He's just some guy that walked.
He just walks. You see, he looks for balloons on
Yeah.
a mailbox.
Some guy in a
and
top
those-
hat just walked by and said, "Here, give me your watch." Smash, smash. There you go. But yeah, now there's a group of professional clowns who are organizing a march, and it's called Clown Lives Matter.
Oh no! Do we live in? Is this real life? Like,
This
what
is real
is-
life. This is real life. Yeah.
I'm just, guys, get your priorities straight. Don't dress up like a clown, and don't be a clown.
Don't be a clown.
And don't be a professional clown.
Mhm.
If you're gonna be a professional clown, don't march with under the banner "Clown Lives Matter."
Yeah, Clown Lives Matter. Like, oh, you guys are picking bad slogans.
Yeah.
I mean, did you hear Deus Ex got in like some shit for they had some
Like robot lives matter. or
yeah, they
something
said like
that.
org lives matter or something
Yeah.
on one of their marketing things, and they
It's
got
like we're gonna add a touch of real life into
Yeah,
the
it's like
story. Except that there's like groups that for whom that is like a
an important
call to arms.
yeah,
and,
yeah.
and an important one. And
But
yeah.
I'll keep you guys updated on clown news in
Okay,
the coming weeks.
good.
please do.
Because it just keeps going. I thought this thing was gonna just die at those first few.
Hey, how long has it
sightings.
been going on?
Dude, couple months.
Jeez.
All right, let's answer one question.
All right.
This came to us via Facebook. I don't have the question asker's name here, so I'm going to call him Todd Croissant.
What is this, a Facebook one?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. Because it wasn't a direct question to us. It was just like a question that was, I was tagged in on, and then I said like, oh yeah,
Oh.
we'll add that to the podcast, and it's pretty cool.
Okay,
Yeah.
So Todd Croissant asks,
Sure.
how do game reviews / streaming, including sponsors and such, while in a studio, like a game development studio, how do I do these things and avoid conflict of interest / dramas? Thoughts? Let's say I founded a game studio and later want to try a Twitch / YouTube gaming channel down the line. I live stream a let's play of a new game and I don't like it. Will that live stream get me in trouble for slagging off a product from the competition? Well, obviously I'm not a lawyer. Otherwise I'd be making way more money.
Oh.
But like if you founded the company, the only way I think you could really get in trouble is if you were like slandering,
Yeah.
like if you're lying
Like-
about it. But like you're allowed to say bad things about the competitor
Mhm.
because you probably you may very well believe, like, I mean, one car company can say another company's cars are worse or less
Mm.
safe because that's what they believe and that's what maybe their
Yeah,
studies
it's called an
have shown.
opinion.
Well, not
You're
just that, but it's you have a right to promote your car and you can use examples. It's the reason it's not done that much is because you can get into sort of like wars, like media wars this way. But if you're not like a founder, you have to. It's ultimately up to like the studio heads, right? We work at a studio where we can work on our own games, and our own side projects and stuff. And we can have a podcast where we talk about other games and critique them.
Yeah.
And ultimately, it's up to the listener to determine: are they, saying bad things about a competitor because it's a competitor, or because they believe this, or are they saying good things about their product because they believe it, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, like I think I mean it is basically then up to the audience to decide because like I mean we, work on Path of Exile.
Right.
If we just had a podcast called, Why Diablo 3 Sucks.
Yeah.
Then people listening would be a little suspicious to our like motives of
Yeah.
talking about why Diablo
And
3 sucks.
We should it's always helpful to disclose stuff like we work on Path of
Yeah.
Exile, so take all of this with a grain of salt or whatever.
Yeah.
But
Which I think we've hardly ever mentioned Diablo anyway.
no,
But there's
it
also
sucks.
Oh.
I'm kidding.
Yeah, there's
My girlfriend plays Diablo all the time. She loves it.
dude, the console version is really good apparently.
Yeah, the console version is really good.
But yeah, there's a professional way to go about doing this and
Yeah,
a non-professional way.
And even if you're unprofessional, all you're actually doing is risking your own reputation, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're making yourself look untrustworthy.
Yep.
If we had a podcast called Diablo 3 Sucks and didn't disclose we were part of Path of Exile, and someone figured it out, we wouldn't necessarily get in any legal trouble. We would just look like dicks.
We'd probably lose,
Yep,
lose
good call.
listeners. Like it
Yeah,
really comes
because
down to that. I mean,
also,
you can,
who's going to listen to that podcast?
like
That sounds like a bad podcast.
That's the thing. You can have you can totally have a podcast about why Diablo 3 sucks, but if nobody's listening, then it doesn't matter.
Right.
You know.
And that's when people talk about like ethics and stuff like that. Obviously, the reason it's important for a lot of companies is because it is in the company's best interest that they look ethical and they have ethical employees. Because if they have unethical employees, either the employee is going to harm the company directly, or that employee's reputation is going to harm the company indirectly. So, and that's why like newspapers and whatnot live and die by their perception that they are that have journalistic integrity and are telling the truth and researching well. If they lose those things, they lose customers. So, yeah, I guess to answer that question, it's really up to you and up to if you're the studio head to be sort of honest and disclose whatever information you think is relevant to maintain your company's reputation and your reputation.
Yeah.
But it's, no one's going to say, shouldn't have done that.
Yeah, because well, and also like, I mean, he talks about if he started a company and slagging off competitors, then, I mean, not all video games are competitors. I don't consider, I don't know, Clash Royale as a Path of Exile competitor.
Right.
So, I don't know, I feel fine criticizing them about whatever. Like, I don't think anyone's going to come after you or they're not going to come after you for saying stuff. I
mean, it would. I think it's interesting. It's because games are quite a new medium that this ever even gets asked. If there's an author talking about other books, no one's going to go, how dare they?
Yeah, true.
Right? If there's a film director talking about films they liked or didn't like, no one's going to question that.
Yeah.
They are masters of their medium, and they're also lovers of that medium, and they have a large knowledge base. So it's only natural for them to want to discuss it.
I also wonder why the guy wants to play games that he doesn't like. Because I mean, we
one of those angry video game nerd
really,
YouTube channels.
Yeah, yeah. We don't really
this
like
old Nintendo Entertainment System game. It's not good. It didn't age well. 1 million views.
Yeah. Because we just talk about the games that we enjoy playing. We don't. We're not like a review
and No Man's
site.
Sky
And No Man's Sky and GTA.
You burned.
Damn it.
Yeah, we don't. We're not paid to review every game that comes out.
Not anymore.
Sure. Oh, I mean, yeah, like that's the thing, right? We just play whatever we want, and
yep.
I mean, if we play a game that we don't like, we won't play it as long, and we'll probably talk about why that is. But we're not going to be like playing it for hours and hours and hours, and then completely like slay it.
Yeah.
Because we just don't want to play a game that we don't like.
Yeah.
Do you feel like it's kind of sad that you have to kind of be positive about stuff, that you can't slander anything just because like someone?
Well, but I'm not.
No,
you
no,
heard
I know.
me talking about Blake's dumb game purchase. Like, I think that was a dumb purchase.
Maybe.
Sorry.
I mean, maybe.
Yeah.
If you're still using it in like 2 weeks, I'll be very surprised. If you like check it when it gets updated more than once, I'll be very surprised.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. I'll if it keeps getting updated as regularly as it seems to be. Like I talk about how the worms have no no sound.
Yeah.
I saw an update recently that they do have sound now, so that's good.
Well,
they've done that.
I bought Starbound early access.
Yeah.
And I played it for like a few days.
Yeah. I haven't gone back.
Haven't touched it since. I'm sure it's way different now.
Yeah, dude.
I have
Rory.
no interest in checking it.
Well, if you listened to the last podcast, Rory talked quite a lot about.
No, I'm kidding.
Rory talked quite a lot about Starbound, and it definitely has like changed a lot since since I played it, because I played it in beta as well.
Meh.
Eh.
I,
So what? You're saying that was a bad purchase then?
I think early access is a mistake.
Yeah, same here. Blake, you're supporting it, man. The same thing that you
I know
criticize.
that's the thing. The same thing I complain about, because I don't like all these early access games either. But sometimes one of them will just be like, "Hey, we got something that you might like." And I'm
Then
like,
why not wait until it's done?
I'm impatient, I guess. That's.
But so you'd rather have a bad experience now than a good experience later, or okay, let's even be a little more generous here. You'd rather have an incomplete experience rather than a complete experience later.
I don't know. I would hope that both those experiences are fulfilling in some way. Like my time with Ark, I don't regret at all, but that's definitely not a complete game.
But have you played it recently?
Not recently.
Yeah. So that's my point.
Yeah, but I played it for like a year.
What if it's so much better now?
Well, then I'll go back to it.
But the part of what makes games exciting is newness, right?
Yeah.
Like the reason our game gets popular at the start of a league is because there are new things.
Yeah.
No one's gonna go, I'm gonna go jump on standard and look at some of those old items I've got.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fun.
I don't know. Maybe it will turn out to be a bad purchase, but
I don't think it's gonna be a bad purchase.
I'm okay
I
with
think it's just
at the price level it was. I'm okay with that. Like that's the
Okay.
upper limit of what I'd pay for an early access game is $30.
right.
And that Folktale one, was like 15 or something. And
Yeah, but
I
you
definitely
said
don't.
that one sounds more interesting to me because
Yeah.
it's more complete.
It's also been
cheaper.
in development longer. I
Yeah.
think. Like I went back to I Google searched them, and they used to be called something else, and it was like a very much more linear game back then.
Right. All right, we're way over time.
Yeah.
Saveun, is there anything you want to say?
No, I'm good. I think you covered everything.
Cool.
I had a couple points, but you took them.
You
took them.
You took
I'm sorry.
No, that's cool.
I'm a chatty Cathy sometimes.
No,
it's been a while.
It's good
I
that
have
we
have to spew my
contribute.
guts.
Let's go.
Thanks. Good being back. Did you miss me?
It's good to
readers,
have you back.
listeners,
Yeah.
the
Oh
readers?
man, hosting was. I don't know how you do it, man. It's
Yeah. You're a
It's
natural
really-
talker.
It's
Yeah.
not hard.
Yeah.
It's literally to say name questions.
dude. You have no idea how many how much dead air I had to cut out of my podcast.
Wait, really?
Yeah. Sav's
All right.
like your podcast was good because man, George can talk a lot.
But there's some cool art stuff going on.
yeah.
I think
there's
it's
some good stuff going on.
it's
but-
hard to talk about design for me.
Yeah.
At a knowledgeable level and
Well, that's what-
and keep that going.
That's what I was hoping to have Carl
Meanwhile,
at the same time, but
I
it
could-
didn't work out that way.
I could tell you about some ZBrush stuff.
Oh, can you?
And YBrush
Some ZBrush.
and WBrush.
Oh.
BBrush, which is the street version. BBrush, Fly Girls. Put your hands in the air. All right, we're out of time. So let's end it on a terrible,
Nice little wrap at the
terrible
end there.
joke from what was it? Bomb Funk MC wasn't that the
The
dude?
freestyler?
Isn't that who did the B-Boys Fly Girls? Doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
it was.
All right. If you want to email us who did that song, frenzyquestions@gmail.com. Tell us about your favorite 2000 era song on Twitter @FrontSeatCast.
Man, if you're an American, you got any clown related news?
Yeah.
Send it in. I want to know firsthand what's happening.
Post your clown photos to our Facebook page,
Yep.
facebook.com/FrontSeatCast. And tell me about your Disney World experience on our WordPress site, frontseatgamer.wordpress.com. And then also tell your friends about our podcast. Choose a good episode for them to listen to. Not this one. No, I'm kidding. This is the best episode
the
yet.
two that Nick wasn't on were pretty solid.
Ooh, whatever. And maybe they were. I haven't heard them. Tell us what you thought of those episodes. Email Blake directly.
Oh, shit.
All right. See you in a few weeks.
Soup.
Bye.
Bye.
It's Pepe. Basically.
Oh, let's
Pepe.
not talk about Pepe.
Who's Pepe?
Apparently
Who's
talk about
Pepe?
Pepe.
Pepe is a frog.
Oh, yeah.
Feels good man.
Yeah, yeah.
And people.
He's like, I hate somebody.
I found out the full story because I listened to a podcast called
Pepe cast.
Reply All, and they
Oh,
covered,
right.
covered the full tale of it.
Really? Wow, that's
Really
cool.
fascinating. There's detail.
Is
I
there?
knew
How
most
much
of it.
detail is there for a meme?
I knew most of it, but there were
Yeah.
details I didn't know. Like the reason, do you know why there are rare Pepes?
No, what?
There's a message board called R9K,
Okay.
Robot 9K, Robot 9000, where the idea is you cannot post the same thing, either text or image,
Yeah.
more than once.
Oh,
Once
wow.
an image has been posted, it cannot be posted again.
Oh.
And so people would post tweet Pepes, and so that.
And so they only exist there.
And, yeah, they only. And so someone might have seen it and
Yeah.
saved it,
Yeah.
and that's a rare Pepe, right?
Holy
Awesome.
shit.
Right?
Holy
Right?
shit.
That's where that comes from, and like
That's insane.
the turning point from like what caused Pepe to go from like a funny meme to
Yeah.
racist idol.
I thought it was
he's
just
racist?
I thought it was just some racists started using him. And
No, 4chaners started associating him with racist content because mainstream celebrities started doing Pepe memes,
Oh right, okay.
and so they were like, "It's gone too big.
Yeah.
We've got to make these people look like assholes
Right.
by now associating." So
Oh,
now it's
man.
retroactively associated with racism,
Aw,
right?
poor Pepe.
God damn it.
He's already so sad.
Come on, guys.
It's like, are there two Saveus in the room, Ozone?
Hey, how's it going? I'm Saveun.
Huh?
How do you feel about GTA?
Oh, it's the greatest game I've ever played. I love it so much.
Holy shit. What do you think about The Witcher?
I don't like it very much. You know, it's just there's no driving in it.
That's great. That's great.
I like it too many.
Do you want to
I don't know.
retaliate with your own Nick?
I don't know what that voice is. Where did that
I
come?
don't know, it's great.
I hate listening to my own voice, but if I'm doing a voice, maybe it's fine.
That whole voice the whole time, man.
Hey, welcome to Front Seat Gamer. I'm your host, Nick. Today we're going to talk about some video games. What do you guys think about video games?
It's like a friendly neighbor.
I like Kermit the Frogish.
Oh.
What do you think, Miss Piggy? Will there ever be a rainbow?